Welcome to the next episode of the Dark Web Deacon. Before we begin, be sure to smash that subscribe button, click the bell to turn on notifications. New videos are published every Monday and Thursday, and as always, be sure to like and provide comments. So I have another major data breach to report to you all. Cyber News broke a story a few days ago with claims of the discovery of an unsecured database. Compromising about 800 gigabytes of personal user information that included roughly 200 million detailed user records. The database in question is located in the US and hosted on a Google Cloud server, which was exposed for an unknown period of time, so far based on the forensic research. At the beginning of March, all of the records contained in the database were wiped by an unidentified party. The party behind the breach is still unknown, and the company that owns this data is still unverified. Merely selling these records on the dark web marketplaces at a below average rate of about $1 a record could easily net the hacker close to $200 million. If you think you may be part of this breach or are concerned about it, I'm going to provide in the details section a link from Cyber News where you can type in your email to see if your email was in this particular data breach. So what data elements were part of this breach? Roughly 80 million email addresses were found in the database before it was wiped. Additional data elements include everything from first name to middle initial to last name, address, city, state, zip, county codes and names, carrier route of a mobile phone, latitude and longitude numbers, time zone, whether you're an owner or a renter, length of residency, number of residencies, whether children were present at your residency, also gender, date of birth, year, month, and day. If that data wasn't alarming enough, the data set also included credit ratings, mortgage information, tax details, investments, charity donations, and also personal interests and preferences, being things like whether someone smoked, whether they played golf, whether they owned a pet, whether they were a veteran or owned a credit card, and the types of places that they gave charitable donations to. Who owns the database? I think that's the $64,000 question, and that is still being investigated, and I haven't been able to verify from any source at this time who actually owns this data. Cyber News, who originally broke the story, believes that much of the data is contained may have originated from the US Census Bureau. This is because certain codes used in the database were either specific to the Bureau or are used in Bureau classifications. This is definitely one possibility. Based on my experience, I think it could also point to a marketing company or a marketing division within a telecom based on fields such as carrier route, latitude, longitude info, credit ratings, and mortgage info. The database was hosted on a Google Cloud server, and according to Cyber News, it was exposed for an unknown period of time. Although the data has been wiped, currently the database itself remains online and accessible. Sean Wright, a cybersecurity researcher, is quoted as saying, "What frustrates me the most about these databases is that we used to properly bury them deep within the organization's network, so that if there was any misconfiguration, the risk was minimized. Fast forward to today, and we put databases on network directly facing the internet," end quote. And I couldn't agree with him more. Whether you're going to AWS, whether you're going to Google, whether you're going to Microsoft Azure, more and more small, medium, and sized businesses are moving there. They don't have proper expertise within the organization. And because of that, a lot of these data assets that they use that are very cheap, very easy to use, very easy to set up, are often being exposed publicly rather than buried deeper within the platform. What to do if your email is a match for this data breach or other personal information. Any individuals that may have been on the database or whose email addresses were found by the email checker that is provided in the descriptions should take care to monitor their finances and any new applications in their name. The use of some form of monitoring service may not be a bad idea for a period of time. This is very, very rich data that was exposed. Please check out my extensive video on free identity protection advice. I go into a lot of details on the steps you can take, vendors to check out, and I provide a 10-point checklist to prepare or help prevent for eventual identity theft. So check out that video. I think it could really be helpful, especially if your email does currently match this particular data breach. If there is a silver lining part of this data breach, is that there were no social security numbers that were part of this breach, so which doesn't make it a little more difficult for someone to completely do what's called true name fraud, which is steal your complete identity by having your SSN as that seeded information. That being said, there still is a lot of information that was exposed here. So whether it be phishing attacks, smishing attacks, ransomware, you definitely are still at risk and should consider this a high-level breach. Why does this keep happening? So I get this question a lot, and it often comes from businesses with poor leadership and lacking in technical acumen across their IT organization. So they're asked to deliver capability, storage, new features to either save money or to make new money with new features. And they have kind of a magical thinking that just by moving their platform or their product to the cloud, it's automatically secure without giving proper training and guidance to the IT staff. And so that's why you're going to start to continue to see more and more of this as more and more small and medium-sized companies move off of traditional kind of on-premise systems, moving to the cloud without going through proper training and making the proper investments to secure their data sets and to secure their data applications. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe, and provide comments, and turn on notifications by clicking the bell in order to check out future videos published twice a week.